What's up, guys? It's Showtime for Showtime Shredded Fitness over here. Size, growth, get big. All right. So I've put on now 10 pounds since either Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember what day it was that I checked. And I was 227. Now that was after gaining a little bit of weight anyways, because I was kind of fluctuating a lot between 210 and 220, okay? I don't think I ever dipped below 210. If it was like 209, so really not that big of a deal. 210 probably at the lowest, okay? And 212, 218, 220, 221, 213, 218, things like that, just kind of bouncing around, right? So started on Monday or Tuesday, I was 227, like I said, and then I gained 7 pounds, okay, got up to 234, and now I am at 237 this morning, which I was really shocked at because I thought I was going to be down about 5 pounds. I usually am a lot lighter in the morning. Now granted, this was after a workout. This was after a small meal. Very small meal, though. I'm talking like a cookie, a protein cookie, and a freaking Max Recovery protein and carbohydrate meal replacement drink, okay? So I'm talking, not a lot, right? So still should be down, about 3 pounds just sleeping. I did have a nice big meal before I slept, but shit, I slept like 8 or 10 hours after that, all right? So that just goes to show, now that I'm getting my sleep again, and more meals in, just how quickly the weight can come back, the muscle, when you are more consistent with eating and sleeping. Training is the component you always want in there. That's why even at 210, 220, I still had nice lines, still had some vascularity, things like that. It was nice and tight because of the training, right? So always keep that in mind. If your sleep is shit, you still want to train. If you're eating shit, you still want to train. So many people go, well, my meal plan's not 100%. I might as well quit going to the gym. Well, your body's going to reflect that. Whereas, okay, you're eating too much food, you're looking kind of fat in the stomach, but great shape, still everything else looks good. Why? Why is that? Because you're lifting weights, because you're doing cardio. Does that make sense? So you're always going to keep that shape, even if you're eating like a pig and you're eating the wrong foods. Your body's not going to reflect it near as much, just a little bit. And then even then, if you got good genetics, you're still going to look great, and people are going to think you eat really clean, okay? And even with bad genetics, you'll look decent because you're going to have that nice shape, okay? So don't give that up ever. Even people that diet and stuff look better, a lot of times still won't look that good because they're not doing the exercise with it. So they're skinny fat, they're still really squishy to the touch and stuff. And so arms, everything, right? Everywhere. Just like a trying to give a good comparison of what that feels like. Those, and I'm not talking those hard gel ones. I'm talking about the really, really, really super squishy ones that kind of always feel like gross, like you can squish it all the way in from here all the way to here and touch your own other finger on the other side and stuff. That's how people feel who just diet and they start out overweight and they just get that skinny fat. They're just really squishy, okay? So when you lift weights, that tightens up, okay? So keep that in mind. And then obviously with the nice clean eating and some cardio that go along with the weight training, you look even better, okay? If you only have time to do weight training or cardio, it's going to depend on your goal. If you want to look better and you can only do weights or only do cardio, do the weights. If you want to look not quite as good, but you're worried about your heart health, do the cardio. Fair enough? And if you kind of want an intermediate, then just try to keep it moving to where you're doing all supersets, giant sets, to where you make it almost aerobic. And if you can do it really scientifically, you can all the way through, but you just got to keep it super duper light the whole time. But you can make it cardiovascular, muscular endurance, proficient, and resistance training all in the same shebang, right? If you do that 20 or 30 minute workout with weights without any rest whatsoever, but as soon as you stop and you give yourself some rest, even if it's only 30 seconds, Now it's anaerobic, not aerobic. Fair enough? So that's what you got to keep in mind if you're going for heart health, okay? Now, I'm going to put my shirt on because I just got out of the shower room. I just got to get ready to go anyways. So I'm going to put this on pause and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So before you think I'm too crazy or brain dead that I was maybe, since I had a 5 a.m. workout, maybe wasn't paying attention to my shirt. Just got out of the shower anyways, like I said. But you're gonna be like, whoa, your shirt's on inside out. I realized that. Okay, this is a brand name shirt. Okay, people get all weird about it if you put brand name stuff on a YouTube video. So, all right. So we're gonna get down to the part where you guys were probably, if you guys looked at the title of this video, this is probably the part you wanted to listen to. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Now, disclaimer here. If you do this, okay, and the baby still comes out little, don't blame me for it, all right? This is nothing that's been proven, okay? I just did this, and I'll tell you why I did it. So here's the reason behind it. I didn't purposely try to make a big baby, okay? That was not the goal, okay? But what was happening was I was taking Cell-Tech at the time, okay? It's got creatine in it. It's from Muscle Tech, all right? And I was taking that, and I wasn't that big myself. I was only like 218, and I was a soft 218. I was not a big 218 like I was a few days ago, okay? I was 218. I looked 218 tops. I looked between 195 and 218. I was a soft 218, okay? But I was taking the Cell-Tech, okay? And this was when I was working 3-4 jobs, not sleeping a lot. A few years ago, obviously, because Cliff is now 14, I think? 12 to 14 years old. What's 19? Yeah, he's 14, because it's 2020 now. He was born in September of 2005, so he's 14 and change right now. So this was actually about 15 years ago. Before we got the pregnancy obviously takes approximately 6 months, right? So when she was pregnant, all right, we had to do a taper. So here's the screw it, that's going to be a whole other video, because if I go into that now, it's already going to be at least 10 or 15 minutes long. I don't want to talk about the taper. That's going to bring it up to 20 to 30 minutes. So my wife would still do, after she had quit smoking, after she had quit drinking, okay, she would still do 1 or 2 beers a week. So like a Tuesday, Thursday, or a Tuesday or a Thursday, sometimes once a week, sometimes twice a week, okay, 1 beer though, that was it, and she would stop, okay, which you go, oh, that's not good. Well, if you know what it was before, no, it was very good, very, very good, okay, I was very proud of her. And then the smoking, she would do a half of a cigarette, okay, sometimes every other day, but it was usually only about twice a week on that as well. So 3 times a week max, but usually only twice. And she would only smoke the first half, because out of a full cigarette, the second half is much more toxic and dangerous to the body and to the baby than the first half. Okay, so half of the cigarette she would smoke, the first half, she would throw the rest away. And she would only do that a maximum of 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes 1. So an average of 2 per week. And yeah, she would usually stack with the beer. Okay, now you would still say, well, that's bad. Well, compared to what she was smoking before, a pack a day, much better. A half of a cigarette once or twice a week. Again, very proud of her. That was very hard for her to do. Okay. Now, I was still paranoid, though, for the same reasons you guys might go, oh, what's she doing that for? Going to atrophy the baby, going to come out without eyes and all this, right? So, of course, I'm worried about that, too. So, just to make sure that had some nice growth, and the eyes grew in properly in the ears, and, the limbs, and came out with 2 arms and not 1, and 2 legs, and this and that and the other thing, right? Normal size hot, not an atrophied one. So, I implemented into my wife's diet Cell-Tech, okay? So, I'd give her 1 Cell-Tech a day, drink, a minimum of 2 or 3 times a week, but I think it was more than that. I think it was pretty close to every day. I would give her a Celtec drink, okay? Just to make sure that, you know, the baby didn't get smaller, right? So we did that, and when she had the baby, she stored it. Her body weight was either, I can't remember if she was just coming off a diet or not. I think she was. I think she was just coming off a diet that she had dropped from 126 down to, I believe this was, yeah, so this was like 2003, 2004. She dropped down from 126 down to 110, and she would still, when she ended up getting pregnant shortly after that, she was still fluctuating between 110 and 120, you know, usually between 110 and 115, 112 and 115, right in there, okay? With this program, she, because obviously you're going to gain a shitload of weight with a baby anyways, right? Unless you're like my mom, who just did the very smallest amounts of food. She had the whole thing formulated out. It was just like, not eating for two people, you know. She said you're eating for one and a quarter at the top. So it would be like a 0.25 or a 0.10 or whatever it was that she had formulated out on top of her normal macros. So I was a tiny little baby. I was only like 6 or 7 pounds. I was an infant that was like a tiny one. She went to the emergency room, my mom did, with me, and they asked what she was doing there, and he said, "This is for emergencies only. This is for the, you know, your water breaks. You're about to have a baby," and she goes, "At either you're not pregnant or you're like a month or two along at the most. You can't be in here right now." And my mom was like, "Are you crazy? My freaking water broke already," and so of course they rushed her in and. And I was a runt. I was 6 or 7 pounds, right? And that didn't go away all through school. I was a little guy. I was 78 pounds in 7th grade, and I'm telling you this for a reason, so that you can see the comparison between me and my son. Okay, my little brother was a little tiny guy too. He was only a little 6 or 7 pound baby. He was a little bit bigger than me, but not much. And he was a little shit all through junior high school. Also skinny little guy. Okay, a little bit bigger than I was, but not much. So I was 78 pounds in 7th grade. They had to find a special helmet to fit me, and special shoulder pads and everything else. They had to get me grit kids from like the first to 5th grade size helmet and pads, because nothing there fit me, okay? And so I got a special order my uniform, okay? Me and Chris Murphy both, because he was a little guy too. And then in 8th grade I was 100 pounds, and then in high school I wrestled 108. So I was a really little guy. And I bulked up doing Arnold Schwarzenegger's program, overtraining of course, because I was doing his competition routine. I should have been doing his bulk routine, fair enough. And I got up to whopping 160, okay? That's what I graduated with as. So Clef, 113 minutes. Clef was born at, ready for this? 10 pounds and change, okay? He was over 10 pounds. He was pretty close to a 10.5 pound baby. Okay, he was about 23 inches long, okay? And even my mom comes in and she's like, she sees him in the incubator, right? And she goes, "This isn't a baby, this is a monster, goddammit." And so we did not do the Celtec with our second son, okay? And he was only a little over 8 pounds, okay? Still much bigger than me and my little brother, okay? But little guy compared to his big brother, okay? Now, he's still little. He's still normal age, normal height, normal weight for his, well, actually, I don't even think he's normal. I think he's below average on the size scale. Whereas Clef, he's a beast for his age. So he's already bigger in 8th grade than I was as a senior in high school. Okay, because remember I said I graduated 160. Well, Clef, since 8th grade, it's only halfway through the year here. It's only January, and he's 160 pounds already. So he's the same weight now as I was when I graduated. I was 100 pounds, remember, in 8th grade, 78 in 7th. and he's one of the biggest kids on his football team. He's a great athlete. And the other thing that we did that my parents didn't do with me was we held him back a year. So we didn't start that fucker until the very latest that we legally could as a kindergartner. Okay? So he dwarfed all of his classmates, right? He's bigger than everybody. He was the biggest kid in the class, and we did that on purpose. So he'd be bigger in for football. And so we did that, and I think for academics, a lot of oh, don't do that for sports. Well, then do it for academics, right? Because they also, a lot of the experts also say that if you wait a year before they go in, they'll pick stuff up faster. It's a confidence builder, right? They're a bigger kid in school. Now, there's the smarter kid in the class, too, usually, because they can pick stuff up kids pick stuff up so fast, right? So you got another year of development of learning shit before you even get there, right? So sometimes they tend to pick up, studies show, a little bit faster the material if you hold them back a little bit longer before they hit that legal mark of you got to get them in school, you're gonna get in trouble type of thing, right? So that's what we did, and so far it's been, I think we made the right choice. Now again, does that mean that if you have Celtec that your baby's going to be bigger? Not necessarily, okay? Is it a healthy thing to do? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know if the doctors would recommend that or not. Now, granted, it's only a blend of 4 different amino acids, so probably not. Probably not unhealthy. At that time, it wasn't quite as safe as it is now. I mean, it was obviously the same fucking thing, right? But the studies didn't show that. Okay, they didn't know enough about it then to say, yes, this is a safe product. No, it's not a safe product. Okay, other than based off of what it was, which is just a blend of 4 different amino acids. Now, I've talked to pharmacists. Some have said 4. I've talked to other fitness experts and doctors and stuff that say it's 3. I think it's 4, just because I've had more people tell me that number 4 than I have till it says at 3. So now my wife's blowing up my phone, so I gotta wrap this up. Anyways, that's pretty much all that I wanted to say. Is still consult the doctor. Don't do anything based off of what I do, because I've done some crazy shit in the past. Okay, some people are amazed that I'm still alive. So don't take my word for it. I'm not a doctor, right? Our situation was very good. He was septic, because remember that sometimes creatine helps you, synthesize more protein, can increase calorie, it can increase appetite and stuff. So he was in there. She had sucked his poor mom dry in there, right? He was septic because he eating his own poop, and we had to rush her in for emergency C-section. So at least it came out the stomach, right? That would have been a very painful delivery. Fair enough. She said she didn't feel a thing with the epidural and everything, and C-section cut open, all that stuff. No issues. She was just sitting there talking like no big deal as they were cutting the baby out of her. She was no pain, like at all. She has a pretty high pain tolerance too, which helps. But before they gave her the epidural and the lines were like this, she's in a lot of pain. And then all of a sudden they gave her the epidural and the line's like this, and she's just sitting there talking, laughing, and joking around, and so the epidural, does it work? This is a no-brainer. I don't even need to answer that, right? Everybody knows that it does. But anyways, it's Showtime with Showtime Shred Fitness over here. Size, growth, get big. All right.